What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Top 5 Comics of September 2025. We're hitting you a little late in the month to be covering this, but it's been it's been a crazy start to the month and then busy. I had work issues pop up at the beginning of last week, and then for the end of last week, as we've kind of been sharing leading up to the week, Drewski was at New York Comic Con. Drew, how you doing, man?
That is correct. I was at New York Comic Con, so yeah, one of the reasons why I've got the camera off is because I'm fighting a bit of the con crud.
Con
And
crud.
yeah, it's the first time. I think last year I didn't catch it. This year I did. I just attributed this year to just due to how flipping busy it was at the show. And no matter how much hand sanitizer I used, clearly didn't work.
Yeah. It's all right. It happens. I mean, it hit me in Dallas this year. It hit me on like day one in Dallas this year. I was so pissed. I was like, what the come on. But you were in New York Comic Con. Would you say it was a successful convention for you?
It was incredibly successful. I do know because we were there with TCM Press was there with the Comic Mint, and it was the Comic Mint's best year in ever, I think, in New York Comic Con. And I mean, you look at where they're at. It's prime real estate, and everyone is envious of their lines. I know for a fact security got called out twice to our booth for how long the lines were, and it's just we kept trying to keep everything nice, neat, and orderly, but they were just like, "Look, what can we do? You want us to just send them all away? We can't."
Yeah, dude, that's such an awesome problem to have.
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, and a lot of things sold out. I do know for a fact the Silent Night Jamie Tyndall completely sold out on Saturday.
You mean this one here?
Yep. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, those completely sold out on Saturday. And I do know that people started charging, I think like $70, $80, $90, $100 on eBay for those.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That is wild. That's awesome though. And then you had two other books that you were selling there. You had Depths of Valor #1 with this Voodoo cover, which I just love this cover.
Yeah. So that was limited to 75 copies. And I think, I'm fairly certain we've got 20 or less copies for that. Maybe not even that.
And then you also had this color foil of the Golem.
Yeah. And we're down to about, I think, like 15 copies of that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was doing very, very well.
And then I guess I don't know if you want to share any stories for while you're there, but I think these might be some familiar faces. One you, but
yeah, the guy to my right, the gentleman to my right, Aaron Sparrow, right there. He was there with me the whole way through the show there at TCM Press, and yeah, Vaughn right there. There's Mr. Vaughn. Right there to Aaron's right. He was there at New York Comic Con as well. He was hanging out with us. I think he was busy too. Yeah, he stopped by to hang out a few times. Joe Corallo was there. He stopped by a few times. HH was there naturally. Al, she was there. So
sweet.
I got to chat with her for a bit. Yeah, it was just it was a great show all the way around. The only thing I'm regretting is not being able to get down to Artist Alley because. Look, I tell everyone it was so damn busy. I mean, we were reflecting on the fact how heavy the traffic was on Saturday and Sunday because we're just like it's never this busy on a Saturday and Sunday. It was insane. Just we were shocked by how well everything went, and I couldn't get down because we just had that much foot traffic.
Nice, very nice. Again, good problem to have. Nothing to complain about there. I do want to say real quick for Vaughn. Vaughn was supposed to be on the channel. Ironically, it was the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. And then ironically, we're here and it's Charlie's birthday and we're doing the stream. But my goal is to get Vaughn back on. He's a pretty cool guy. He's got a comic Phenomenova that I think is going into book 3 or 4. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and double check. But yeah, cool guy. Drew, did you get to see anybody else at Comic-Con? Maybe someone who had some original art?
Yes, I did. Yeah, buddy. That was on, I think, Friday, actually. Yeah, there's me, the fat guy there to the right, and talking to Frank Usen, and right there in the middle, as well as a gentleman right there to his left. So he came by the booth and he was a fan of Unholy Nightmare. I told him we had number 2 here, and he was like, "What, really?" And he couldn't believe it. So we took him over to Frank Guzin, who had copies. So Frank had his original art there as well, and Frank showed him the cover to that. He's like, "Oh, you have how much?" And I'm not gonna say how much, but it was not cheap.
Nice.
Guy went up buying it. Frank was happy. I was happy. So yeah, the one I think the first copy, only copies, first one signed by me, Frank, and Aaron. So
Heck yeah.
yeah, it was an amazing, amazing day being able to help sell that for Frank.
Sweet. I'm going to segue to Unholy Nightmare real quick because I do believe you've got copies hitting retailers, correct?
That is true. We do. So retailers have reached out to me. They want to do their own variants of Unholy Nightmare.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, I've been doing business with retailers, and we got one retailer specifically. Yep, who's doing their own exclusives for Unholy Nightmare.
Heck
This is
yeah.
Unholy Nightmare 1. So we have the Andrew Mangum right there. So he loved it so much he made that an exclusive. So the wrap cover
Yep.
and the trade dress. Yep, right
Yeah.
there. Those are going to be his exclusives, and he's going to be doing a special sale for those coming up
Nice.
later this month. And
And
yep,
then
he did one for this as well, Unholy Nightmare number 2,
Yep.
the Frank Guzin cover, and
Trinacria.
yep, Trinacria for Unholy Nightmare number 1 right there. And that one he loved. So the gentleman who bought this is from Sophie's Collectibles, Sophie's Treasures. I'm sorry, but he is the gentleman who owns it. He is Sicilian, so he saw the logo on there. Saw the image on the Trinacria. He's like, is that a Sicilian and everything? I'm like, yeah, that's her. That's the Trinacria. She's Sicilian. She's like, can I make that my cover? I'm like, sure. So we've made that his cover and limited to 50 copies. Look down there in the bottom right. Only 50 copies made, and they're going to be individually numbered.
Heck yeah. And then there are a few more covers. For whatever reason, they're not pulling up for me right now. But I think it was just showing the trade dress of Andrew Mangum's, and then I think it was the credits for the team. Did you see any interesting cosplays while you were?
So I like to I going to the conventions we do. We see a lot of the same things over and over, and we see a lot of things that we have no fucking idea what they are. And there was a lot of that at this show. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. You know what that is? And I'm like, but on occasion you get one or two that really stand out where you want to take a picture because right there, that was one specifically. I saw he was right across from the table. I was like, oh my god, Phantom of the Opera. So if you're like me and you love horror films, specifically old silent films, they're horror films. This was Lon Chaney from Phantom of the Opera. There was one segment where he was dressed up as the Mask of the Red Death, and I saw this gentleman walking by wearing the garb and the mask. I'm like, oh yes. How many people honestly dressed up as the Phantom of the Opera, let alone from the segment where he was dressed up as the Mask of the Red Death? It's like, yes, I got to take that picture. That's awesome.
It's a good costume too. Like,
yeah,
I mean, really well done.
it's
so
unique,
when you see that,
you're special. Yep. I like that.
Agreed. And then we've got one more here, and yeah.
So if you're a fan of obscure film, I don't really actually. Is it obscure? I don't know.
I would say it's obscure from early '90s, right?
Yeah, early 1991, from what I recall. Yeah. Liam Neeson before Shawshank. I'm sorry. Schindler's List. Liam Neeson, he portrayed Darkman for Sam Raimi in like one of his first really big budget films that he did, and it was an impressionable film for me at an impressionable age. It really stuck with me as I grew up, and I really like that film. And I've never in my life seen anyone dressed up as Darkman at a convention.
Same.
So I was like, Darkman! And he was right across from us. Once again, Heritage Auctions. I walked right over, had to take some photos of him. I was just like, dude, that is awesome. And it just, like I said, it's cosplays like that really stand out. They're special. And it's not some random Crunchyroll, whatever the hell, you're going to find 30, 50 people walking around. It's like, this is unique. And I appreciate that.
For sure. One more thing before we kind of get to tonight's topic, which are comics from September. It's a cover that we have kind of hinted and teased about with concerning Vudon. That Vudon's kind of been this like quietly kept secret over here, and he's finally got some of his first like mainstream, like larger publisher type work. So I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I think it looks freaking awesome.
I will gladly talk about it. So what we got here, this has been a secret cover for a long while because Steve was just not sure what to do with it. Yeah, long while. Going back, I think actually going back to Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I asked everyone's opinion on it. But
yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, that is Gojira right there. And
Gojira.
Yeah. And that is the Javits Center that he is on top of. Javits Center is where they hold the New York Comic Con in Manhattan. And Steve wasn't sure what exactly to do with it, and he already had 27 exclusives. So what he did was he saved it for, I believe, Sunday, and he did it as a big surprise. He's known for doing surprise drops, but it was a mystery bag exclusive. So if limited to 100 copies, 100 mystery bags, each mystery bag contained 5 comics plus the Vudon Godzilla right here.
Nice. Yeah, I remember you showed me this. I think when it was just in process still, and I was like, "Oh my god, that looks so good." And then there were a couple of different like variations that happened, but I'm loving this. I think it looks good, and if you look closely, you can see the storm, and I think it's a helicopter that's up there. Correct?
There's two airplanes.
Airplanes. Okay.
Yeah, and fighter jets, if you will. And,
yeah.
So Vood, once again, he did this all by hand, pen and ink. If anyone's interested in the OA, let me know. I've had plenty of people message me about it, and so it's a very, very, very affordable rate. And it is 11 by 17 for the size.
Oh, dang, nice. Okay, yeah. And look, I know we've kind of praised Vu a lot on here, but man, the detail that he has. The detail he has in his work is insane. And which of course he did the cover for Gollum, and then the interiors for the Gollum, and then he did the cover that you guys had for Depths of Valor.
Yeah, which people have been losing their minds over. They love that cover.
It's his work is just so freaking good. I'm curious if he did like a highlighter, like the white ink on the spines on his back here.
I will ask him. I'll see what he did.
So, but yeah, it's freaking fantastic, man. Like that cover is so bomb, and I'm so glad it's finally getting out there because
you're telling me it stinks and it hurts when you're sitting on secrets like this for so long. Yeah, and it's just like finally, yeah, I love it. I started posting it on Facebook and Instagram with the Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. So, yeah, love it.
Love it. All right. Well, that is a good little rundown of New York Comic Con. We might share more later in the week or next week if other stuff comes up. But I'm trying to protect Drew's voice a little bit because he's gonna have a ton of comics that we're gonna be discussing because we had a huge list to pull for September. It was a good month. September was honestly a solid month.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was reflecting on it. It's much better than some of the months we've had this past year, and I wanted to keep it to 10 because honestly, it could have been 15 or so, but I'm just like, you know what? We're going to keep it to 10.
Yeah. But even some of the books that we're sometimes not as crazy about, or maybe isn't falling into like tops or recognition, they ended up having some really good months, or really good issues in the past month. So a lot of good stuff, which we'll go through. We'll have to kind of do some fast and furious runs here with a few of them because we don't have. It's a lot. That's. I don't know. I keep saying it's a lot, but it's a lot. Real quick though, let's head over to the comments. As always, we have Cage and Corey here. Good evening, sir. Nice to see you. And then Drew, Cajun got his copy of Unholy Nightmare #2 and the Gollum in the other day.
Woo, Cajun, let me know what you think. Read it. Let me know what you think. Please. I've been asking everyone to read it and tell me what they think about both. Please.
For sure. We also have Leslie. Hello, Leslie. Nice to see you here.
Miss Leslie. Miss Leslie is
Hello.
here.
Grinning like an idiot. Hello, Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie, should we tell the audience who we are, or should we keep it a mystery who you are? Let me know.
Well, I don't know. I'll say she's a comic book artist. Does some fantastic work, but she's also telling you that she heard you coughing and drink some water.
I am. Plus, I got plenty of water, Leslie. Trust me. Yes. I'm looking out for myself, Leslie.
I'm the jerk that's making him talk when he probably should just be resting his voice. But she does say hello, guy. Hi, guys. Hello, Leslie. And was Leslie at New York?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Josh.
Yeah. Oh, what do we?
I was telling you earlier.
Yeah. No, I know.
Okay.
I'm running with the stream, trying to see if anything else is going to come up in the comments. Oh, so Leslie's back in Singapore now. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, Leslie traveled 24 hours to New York and 24 hours back to Singapore. So yeah, she. So if people probably aren't aware of who Leslie is. Leslie, do you want us to tell the viewers who you are? They probably don't know you by your name. They know you by your actual by your pen name. If you want us, we can let people know who you are. As soon as we say who it is, we're like, oh, her. But I don't want to give it away. She wants us to say who it is.
Yeah, we'll see if she wants us to give her artist name away.
Yeah, give away the anonymity.
The anonymity. We also have Zach's in the house with Joshy. What's up, Zach's? Nice to see you, brother. I don't know if you're back from your trip yet, but I was pseudo keeping up with all the pictures you're posting, and of course sending you Instagram reels as I always do. And yeah, even Corey wants to know, hey man, how's the vacation? I did see when you were at the statue, so yeah. Unless he said no one knows me here, it's all right. Carry on with the book talk.
All right, so this Leslie Lee is known by her artist name of Lyrics. This is the very popular, very successful, very talented, beautiful Lyrics. She's doing a lot of work with Marvel and DC. She was very, very busy at the booth. She had a lot of books she was signing, and hopefully one day I could be as successful as she is. And yeah, she is an amazing woman.
Yeah, look, even if you're not recognizing the name, I think the moment you see, especially her cover work, you're gonna be like, oh crap, like, okay, so yeah. The chat delays her, and it's that's about right. But alrighty, I do want to go ahead and get into the books for September 2025 because again, you guys think that we typically have problems counting for most of our months, and we're like, oh, Drew actually has a top 10, but this month it was like a top 26, no, 16, top 16, I think that it kind of came to.
Yeah,
roughly.
Yeah, about that.
Don't die, Drew. Don't die.
I'm trying not to.
But and then Leslie said, "Thank you for the kind words. Now stop talking about me." I love it. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. We're gonna get in with our first honorable mention for September 2025, and it is G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero, number 320, written by Larry Hama with art by Paul Pelletier and colors by Sabrina Del Grosso. Now, Drewski, I'm behind on this. I need to get caught back up because I stopped when oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? The artist that's been doing the book.
Mooneyham.
He took a break for a while, and I kind of just fell off the book when he left. And I need to get back into it because I know he came back for a period. But
yeah, he's been on and off, and I just attribute that to him. Just he needs that extra time to do the books. And but the great thing about the book is that Paul Pelletier, he's been a fantastic fill-in artist in his own right, and they've had steady cover work from Andy Kubert or every issue, and just all around between Larry, Paul, Andy. It's been a fantastic read, and yeah, in this issue in particular, yeah, the Ninja Team, they're making they're on their mission, and they're undercover in Springfield, and it's a lot of fun. That's all I'm going to say, and that's all I'm going to start saying before I begin coughing again.
Fair. Yeah, I was really enjoying this. I know in the past we've kind of talked about how much Larry Hama kind of like upped his game when the new quote unquote like modern GI Joe kicked off. And it's really kind of felt like Larry's like, okay, cool. Like you want to put some eyes on here, I'll show you what I've got. And for someone that's been in the industry as long as Larry has, I'm so glad that he's just still banging out books, and good books. So if you're someone that's been reading the newer GI Joe stuff, if you haven't been checking out this kind of more recent run from Larry Hama and the main line, Real American Hero line, definitely go check it out because it's in line with what you've always known from GI Joe, but he is just doing some banger stories. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next honorable mention, and we have Conan the Barbarian number 24, written by Jim Zub with art by Fernando Dagnino, and colors by Diego Rodriguez. And then this was kind of wrapping up this arc to lead into the great, the Scourge of the Serpent. And then we've praised the heck out of Jim Zub with Conan. He's been killing it. I think there's a point in time where it was a little predictable because he was almost kind of recycling some things that have been published in the past and kind of been there, done that. But I think this arc leading into Scourge of the Serpent was kind of returning back to the form that the book originally had. I do miss the original art team, but it's still pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, this is a step back in the right direction with Conan, and Fernando Dagnino, he does a terrific job, stepping in. And I honestly, the only way I could be happier is if Roberto Del Toro was back on the interiors, but it's just it's just not for him, unfortunately. But it is a terrific wrap up issue. It has a great climax. I'm not going to spoil it. It's fantastic. I truly loved it. It was just great seeing Jim put that in there and just really step make it a powerful emotional ending to put it back in the right direction, because it's been missing that punch for a while, and I loved it. So yeah, it's a recommend for Conan the Barbarian.
Sweet. I'm also like, what month did Scourge of the Serpent come out? Because now I'm like, crap.
That came out like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
1 week ago. Yeah.
Okay. I think so. It was October. Okay.
Yeah.
I was freaking out that I had accidentally missed it for September, and I was like, what the heck?
No, you're good.
Cool. But yeah, great work here. Love it. If you haven't been reading Conan, go get it. You've essentially got 2 years worth of story. And then if you want more, you have Battle of the Blackstone, and then you have Savage Sword with the anthology series, which is also pretty fantastic for most issues. So winning. We're gonna move on to our next honorable mention for the night, and it is for Drew's side, Skinbreaker number 1. Now you might see this again later, because just a reminder, once we actually get into our top books, Drew covers the top overall. I cover the top debuts for the month. That way, if you want to know what new book is potentially worth spending some money on, maybe we can guide you in the right direction. But Drewski, I will kind of talk about this a little bit later, but I'll let you go ahead and just kind of share your thoughts here.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. I thought that David Finch, it 3 years he spent working on this. It really shows. Mm-hmm. It's a beautifully inked and illustrated. I do have my one knock on it is that I think the colors are a bit powerful at some points, but too much. But other than that, it's a fun and interesting story. I wasn't expecting Conan, and it wasn't that.
No,
but I like the story that we're getting. I'm very curious to see where it goes. So yeah, I recommend.
Yeah, and I'll point out too, like we covered this pretty extensively when we did Floppy Drop, and I think both of us were trying to come to terms with. We both had that Conan expectation, and I think I'd even mentioned Barbaric. Like I was kind of expecting similar things with Barbaric. And I think when we read it and it wasn't that, we had to be like, this isn't what we were expecting. And we talked about how we kind of needed to sit with a little bit. So But yeah, the only thing I will say I'm staying through line that I've got like the same opinion as Colors, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Moving on to our next honorable mention, we have Superman number 30, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Dan Moore and colors by Alejandro Sanchez. Look, I had said I'd gotten behind with Superman. I caught up kind of roughly around this time. It's banging right now. And you had this issue plus an issue that came out in October, which may have been kind of a retelling of this issue. But I will say this book takes this storyline, and it's clear that there has been a plan in place, and it's awesome that we're getting to see this plan and kind of unfold in some high stakes ways. So, Drew, go ahead and tell us what you liked about this issue, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, this is what I wanted out of issue 29, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. It is an action-packed romp. Yeah, Superman, Booster Gold, and Superboy Prime, against the Dark Legion, Darkseid's Legion. It was a very fun, action-packed, well-illustrated read, and we know what the event is leading into. I haven't finished reading it yet. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I remember the build up to the reveal of the Dark Legion was pretty freaking awesome. And then you mentioned issue 29. I think we were expecting this huge bombastic fight, and then it was a lot of talking. And we're like, no. And then we got the big bombastic fight here. So loving it. Real quick before we move on to the next honorable mention, we do have Ezekiel in the chat coming in with, "Hey guys, we'll watch later. It's pickleball night." Oh, pickleball. Looking forward to the commute back to Fort Worth and listening. Heck yeah, brother. We're happy to be back too. So I know we were gone for a little while, but we're back. Drew is halfway back. He's
halfway.
He's struggling over here. Like I want to give him some cough drops, but I'm glad he's here. All right, moving on to the next honorable mention of the night. We have The Invincible Universe Battle Beast number 5, written by Robert Kirkman with art by Ryan Otley and colors by Annalisa Leone. Now, Drew, this is something that I think for both of us, like, we weren't as quick to jump onto this book as everyone else. A lot of, and I don't know if it's because we're not as in tune with the Invincible Universe, but even just reading it was like, all right, it's fine. I think for us, we're like, we weren't catching the massive hype like everyone else had. So what happens in this 5th issue for you that kind of like, okay, I'm getting on board now?
Yeah, like you just said, I was not on board with it. It just, I had a hard time really getting into the few of the previous issues.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Yes, very well illustrated. Very. But reading issue 1, I called it exposition dump the comic, because I swear, look this up, people. There were caption boxes that had 50 to 75 words in them. I'm like, no, Robert, no, bad, Robert, bad. Do that outside. It breaks. It violates the rule, I believe, in Alan Moore's rule that a caption box should have no more than between 20 to 30 words. And he broke that rule quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
But it steadily got better. And this previous issue, issue 5, I really, really, really dug it. Got the origin of the Prince Salaka, and just how much of a just douchebag he was. I absolutely loved it. And it's all leading to a big ass battle between him and Juggernaut, I believe, coming up. So it's a very fun read, and it's been steadily getting better with each issue.
Hell yeah! So someone is usually like, "What's wrong with you guys for not having Battle Beasts?" We're getting there. Just be patient.
On its way. It's on its way.
It's on its way.
Like the dragons of Game of Thrones. Dragons are on their way. They're on their way.
Yeah. We're like, hey man, slow it down.
Slowing.
Slow it down.
Slowing.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm with you. For me, this book is starting to get, I don't want to say get better, but I'm starting to get, I think, in the groove of the book. And I've kind of talked about that before. Sometimes I'll pick up a book and read it, and I'm the one that's not completely in the groove with it. And I do think part of this kind of comes from not being as familiar with the Invincible universe because I'm one of those yahoos that hasn't read it, which I know, shame on me. I need to fix myself, but it'll happen eventually. I read a ton. It just that hasn't made it yet. All right, we're gonna move on to our next honorable mention. Before we do have Andrew Gonzalez in the house. What's up, guys? What's up, Andrew?
Hey.
It's nice to see you here, sir. We are going through a chock full list of honorable mentions before we get to our top picks for September. Good problems to have. Drew, do you remember when we struggled to do top fives?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's wild. So look, as much as we give your boy Whack crap for him being like the comic industry's fixed now, which I mean, there is a lot of really good stuff out there. So, glad we're having that. The next honorable mention, we kind of discussed this earlier, is G.I. Joe number 11, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Andrea Milana and colors by Lee Loffridge. I keep saying this, but some of Joshua Williamson's best work that he's doing or has ever done is over with the Energon universe. And G.I. Joe has just been a fun, action-packed book. This book in particular, this story arc that we're in has been interesting because we started off with Baroness and is it CoverGirl? Yeah. CoverGirl kind of just being on their own mission, and it slowly kind of evolved that this isn't just kind of a fun romp. There's actually some serious stakes here. Other elements started getting pulled into the story, and this issue in particular had some nice twists and turns that I really enjoyed, and a pretty badass moment where one of them goes after Raptor. But yeah, Drew, give me your thoughts on G.I. Joe number 11.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast with this issue. The fight scenes between Baroness here and Major Blood, as well as the stuff with Hound and Clutch. That's expanding upon the ever growing universe in the Energon universe. So I really cannot wait for G.I. Joe and Transformers to have a really big crossover. It's gonna be amazing. And stuff with Destro and Cobra Commander, loved it too. It's a true G.I. Joe issue where you get A, B, C, A, B, and C plot, and everyone gets their own amount of time, and it's all good. All three plots are terrific, and G.I. Joe has never been better on the publishing side, and it's great being a G.I. Joe fan right now. If you're not reading this, fix yourself.
Go. Yes, I will echo the tease that they've had with this crossover, and they've handled it well. They've teased it well. They haven't held it for too long, and they've given us just the right amount leading up to this point. So I'm looking forward to when they really just go kind of like balls to the wall with like, okay, here it goes, G.I. Joe, Transformers, they're here. So loving this book, a lot of fun. I look forward to it's one of those books I look forward to reading every month. Even when it's not necessarily the best issue of G.I. Joe, it's still a hell of a lot of fun, and kind of for me works as a palate cleanser sometimes from other books that might be out there. I'll just say that. Moving on to our next honorable mention, we have Absolute Batman number 12. This one might be shocking people. Written by Scott Snyder with art by Nick Dragotta and colors by Frank Martin. So this one did some crazy shit.
Yes, very much so. It was one of those where reading it, I had to. We were like, when does this take place? Because how this ends, this was not how the previous issue ended. What the friggin' frack is going on here? But there was an explanation. I completely missed it.
Same.
Which will make a little more sense. Not much, but it's still a fun read regardless. But we talked about how it's coincidences. I hate coincidences in comic books, and for one person to be responsible for creating your whole rogues gallery, it pisses me off. And that's what we got here, where you got Bane pretty much responsible for making all of Batman's friends his enemies. And it's just like, No, I hate that.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I will look, and I will say, because there have been people that have loved this book since the beginning. I
Yep.
have not necessarily been one of them. A lot of people are loving that just huge, over the top, crazy action, and I fully understand why they like it. You know, you've got a Batmobile. It's like a monster
Is
truck.
it yeah, monster garbage
Yeah,
dump truck.
yeah, that's like the size of a 3-story building. Like for me, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little too much for me. But I fully understand and support why people like that stuff.
And the reason,
Here,
like you said, when you think about this book, everything falls apart. Nothing about this makes sense logically. It
yeah,
is a stupid. It is a stupid story. You have to go with it. As long as you
yeah,
treat this as an over the top, stupid action story like Cobra, Tango and Cash, you're going to
yeah.
enjoy it.
I was about to say it's kind of like an '80s action flick. You just gotta go with it and just enjoy it, enjoy the ride. But I will say there's some really intense stuff here. I also got scolded for missing the explanation. I had Dylan, the real comic book gamer, who's been on the channel. He was like, "Bro, did you even read it?" And he pointed it out, and I was like, "Dude, I missed that." And I will say, when we covered it, it was 4 floppy drops, so we literally give ourselves a day to try to read as much as we can that comes out. And sometimes that means we rush read things, especially if we haven't been crazy about them. So that is on me. But yeah, there's some wild stuff here. Scott Snyder is definitely trying to do something unique and interesting. It's working. People are buying the book. And overall, that's a good thing for the industry. So hopefully he keeps it up. In Bane, as much as I don't like that Bane's behind all of the rogues gallery, Bane's really intimidating here. So I'm enjoying seeing that. I like just how badass Bane is, because he's been hit or miss in mainline continuity for a while now. So if you're reading Absolute Batman, let us know what you like about it. If you dislike it, maybe go back to the Bane arc and pick up from there and see if you like it, because it's been a little different in a good way than what came before. So all right, our next honorable mention for September 2025 is Green Lantern Corps number 8, but also Green Lantern, and I think it's number 27. Yeah. So these two kind of go hand in hand, because it's that crossover big action romp that's going on. They went to the source wall. They've got these giant light dragon creatures that they're fighting. I can't remember what they're called
Yeah,
now.
just the avatars.
Yes, the avatars. That's what it was. But this has become like this huge, just big, bombastic action epic from Jeremy Adams and team.
Yeah, it's been a great self-contained event that is not uh, involved with or around almost anything else with the DC universe. I mean, that's great. You have a
Yeah,
great huge event here that's just in Green Lantern. That's fantastic. That's the way it should be. I
yeah,
love it.
agreed.
And art has been fantastic. We've had Zermanico on the art, and
Yep.
we had Vic and Marion and others doing the art. It's been fantastic. Seeing the avatars come back and seeing so we're getting the emotional lantern spectrum back
Yep.
here. So they're all back in place now, and each has their avatars, and certain lanterns are getting rings. Some are getting new rings. Some are getting replacement rings. So yeah, things are changing. Things are getting unique. But can they defeat I think it's the Starbreakers? Can they defeat them, the Dark Stars? We'll see what happens. But yeah, just know it's been a fantastic read.
Yeah, we've been praising the heck out of Jeremy Adams, especially with his Green Lantern books, and just his ability to build a universe and story. And you mentioned it's pretty self-contained. Like, we're not having to deal with a bunch of other nonsense from DC. We're not getting interrupted by nonsense from DC. Like, they're just letting him tell the story. And I wish more people were reading Green Lantern. Yeah, but I do think that once these things start hitting trade and start getting collected, more and more people are going to get turned on to the work Jeremy's doing. And speaking of Jeremy, just got announced for, oh gosh, what was the Batman Nightfall. He's doing the Batman Nightfall animated series, which is
Yeah, I
for
remember.
show
I remember
movies.
seeing the announcement for that
Yeah,
at New York, and I just remember thinking, why in God's name has it taken so long to do an animated adaptation for this?
Right? I saw the announcement and I was like, I'm good. I don't want Batman Nightfall as an animated film series. I'm good. And then I was like, written by Jeremy Adams, just like change my mind.
Yeah, but
I'm on board.
but we do know, Joshy Poo, is that they've gotten very, very, very cheap on their animation, and
Yes.
I hope they remedy that for this story. Because if they don't, I will be pissed. Because this is a story that deserves kick-ass animation.
Yeah, agreed. Real quick before we move on, we do have Code Man coming in. He's got, hey guys, been away for a while. Haven't seen Max in a while. Hope he's doing good. Yes, I think a lot of us have just been busy. I know Max has been insanely busy. He's got a lot on his plate right now. He's good, but he's got a ton on his plate. So he's just taking a little hiatus, and then we'll go from there. But super happy to see you here, and hopefully he'll get back at it. And then I think we'll be getting back into our regular rotation as well, moving forward for the rest of the month. So thank you for hopping in, dude. Moving on to our next honorable mention, we have X-Men of Apocalypse Alpha #1. Drew, I'm going to let you run with this because I may or may not be talking about this later.
Yeah, this was a pleasant surprise. I went in reading this because, look, we got to be honest here. X-Men's been a shit show. And
yeah.
So Jeff Loeb coming on, who has been doing a not so stellar job on his current Batman run.
So kind of you.
Yeah, I thought it was a good way of putting it.
Yeah, no, it was.
And Simone DeMeo, hey, is a solid artist. We'll see what they can do. And imagine my shock. First issue was a very fun, fantastic, back to the true roots of what the X-Men should be. And I was like reading this, I'm like, oh my God, this is a fucking X-Men comic for the first time in like almost 10 years. This has been amazing.
Color me shocked.
Yeah, can we have more of this, please?
Yeah.
And it's great seeing the heroes we know, seeing them in costume, seeing them fight, use their powers. It's like, oh my God, we have they're actually being the X-Men. This is great.
Yeah.
And,
go ahead.
No, just and I'm gonna leave it there.
Cool. I'm just gonna say I'm with you in the respect that I saw Jeff Loeb's name, and I love Jeff Loeb. He's written fantastic stuff. But I was like, man, Hush 2 is not it, and I feel like he's gonna phone this in like he's doing Hush 2. And then Simone DeMeo, good artist. I did not like him on Batman and Robin. And I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I will share more about this book in a little while.
Yeah, he was the wrong artist for that series.
Yeah, very much so. All right, we're going to move on to our next honorable mention, and it's going to be Drewski doing some talking again because it's the Blue Falcon and Dynamut #1, written by Jimmy Palmiotti, art by, Pasquale Quilano, and Jorge Satil. But I had missed this when we did Floppy Drop, and then Drew, you're like, no, it's actually good. Read it, and then I read it, and it's also going to be coming up later for me. So I'm going to let you take it away for now.
Yeah, so I remember watching growing up the Blue Falcon and Dynamut, the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Like he didn't really have his own. He was always as an add-on cartoon, or be like in the Wacky Races. And I remember just seeing him and thinking, I want to know more about this character because he's like Batman, you know. Yeah. But it's like I want to know more about these guys. And we would get a couple of those small short stories here and there. We got them from DC at one point. It was not a good one. But here, reading this, I'm like, okay, we're getting a true origin story here of Blue Falcon and Dynamut, you know, and we get to see that he Radley Crown, he's a wealthy guy and living the good life, you know, and wouldn't you know it, home invasion, something bad happens, and let's just say things change right after that. Home things, it kind of reminded me of Death Wish a little bit, but minus the Charles Bronson stuff. And but I like that origin for this. We put just the getting our hero, putting him into action, and it's sad when you see what happens to his dog. But hey, out of tragedy, we get Dynamut. And I'm very curious to see what happens in issue 2. Yeah, this was a very, very much a strong recommend and a very much a big surprise from the
Yeah, you know, I may or may not agree. We'll see. I will say you'd mentioned it when we were doing floppy drop, and I was like, the Blue Falcon and Dynamite. And you're like, yeah, you know, the Blue Falcon and Dynamite. I'm like, bro, I don't know. And then you're like, yeah, it's like Hanna Barbera, and I was like, And then the moment I saw the costume, I was like, oh yeah. But I'd missed it at that time of reading it, so I'm glad you read it to say like, hey, this is worth reading. And yeah, I'll talk about this in a little bit. Alrighty, moving on to our next honorable mention. We have Feral number 16, written by Tony Fleeks, with art by Tony Rodriguez and Trish Forstner, and colors by Brad Simpson. I will say, look, Feral continues to just keep knocking it out of the park. Trish is teasing more even crazy stuff coming up. And I will say, when I read this, I mentioned that it was good, but I did say it's kind of like a bridge issue. I feel like with each arc, we get that issue that kind of like takes its time to really set up what's about to hit in the next issue. And I feel like that's what issue 16 did. And I feel like 17 is going to be just like bonkers, like just great. Like you're going to be like, oh God, oh no, why? So
yeah, how this issue ends,
yes.
how it ends. It's let's just say the fit is going to hit the shan, and by the end of this issue 16, and I got a feeling it's going to get pretty bloody and nasty.
100%, and I'm looking forward to it.
All I know is that after reading the series, after reading this run, I can no longer trust or like animals that live at PetSmart or Petco. It just they got screw loose.
Those fish there, man. Those fish are dangerous at PetSmart. Yeah, no, they're yeah. Oh man, look. I've been loving this book. They're doing so many cool things with it, and so many good moments that I'm like that stick with me. So, but yeah, I do think issue number 17 is gonna be just wild, and I can't wait to see some of these cats get ripped to shreds because they deserve it. But yeah, I was gonna say I'm not anti-cat, but that's kind of a lie. I'm more of a dog person than a cat person. But this book has made me like cats more. You know, yeah.
Same. I'm a dog guy. Not the biggest fan of cats. But yeah, this has got me warming up a little bit toward cats.
Yeah. Although fat cats, I don't know if I'm ever gonna look at the same way again.
No, after this.
I'm gonna be like, I know what you did. I know how you got fat. You stupid cat. Alrighty. Moving on to our next honorable mention, we have Batman and Robin number 25. So the Memento arc wrapped up. I know some people felt like it went on a little too long. We have the kickoff of a new arc here, Drew. What did you like about this? Because this is a book that we've been kind of referencing that has been, good at times, especially since Philip Kennedy Johnson took over, but it never fully cracked our list, and now it's kind of popped up in the honorable mentions. So what did you like about this issue?
Yeah, I had an absolute blast leading into this new storyline. And the art was terrific. You have Bruce and Damian being father and son in this. Trying to build back up together their relationship, and there's great family elements in this story, and it's a great step in the right direction. And brand new villain that shows up in this. Very, very interesting villain. That's all I got to say. I'm very curious to see what happens with him, how big of a factor and threat he's going to wind up being. It's a great jumping on point for anyone.
Agreed. I'm right there with you. I'm really curious to see what this Quiet Man is all about and what they do with him. And like you, I'm loving the family dynamics. I think that's one of the things I've always loved about Bruce and Damian. Like, it's been interesting to watch Bruce because all of the Robins in some ways are his sons, but Damian is his blood son. So there is a difference there, and I love them together. Now that Damian's not like full on little shit, bit of a little shit, and you can do some really good stuff. And it's been a good run. So I would say skip the Joshua Williamson story, and you can pick up with
skip it.
Yeah. But if you haven't read anything, this is a good place to start. So, all right, we're gonna move on, and I think we still have more honorable mentions coming in, but we do, yeah. Next honorable mention, I told you guys it's a good month. Next honorable mention is Punisher Red Band #1, written by Benjamin Percy, art by Julius Oda, and colors by Yen Nitro. We're getting kind of blessed right now. We're gonna have 2 Punisher books with Frank. So we have this one, which is the mainline Red Band book, and then we also have the Marvel Knights one that I think debuts this week, next week, sometime. But yeah, so this is the one written by Benjamin Percy, and I'll say, actually, I'm not going to say too much because this might be popping up later. So, Drew, I want to hear your thoughts on this because I will say I didn't think it was perfect, but I thought it did a lot of things right.
I will say it is a fantastic step back in the right direction with Frank Castle and the Punisher. That's what this had to do. I mean, it's the thing is, sorry,
You're okay.
It's not
You're right.
it's not that hard to do a Punisher story, but some people treat it like, oh, we got to tiptoe around this. We can't do this. We can't show this. We can't say that. We can't allow this. That's the Jason Aaron effect. And no, and I love Benjamin Percy here for what he did. He's done so far in issue 1. It's Punisher just wakes up. He's got a memory of what happened, and he's on his gun-toting vigilante ways. But we also discovered there's something also unique and weird going on with the Punisher. Maybe someone could be pulling his strings. But we'll see what happens with that. I like that other element. Although I think between it, you don't need both Kingpin and Tombstone. You just have one. You don't need both.
Interesting.
But that's the way I see it. But we'll see what happens with the story. But for right now, I'm just thinking, why do we have both? You don't need both.
Yeah, but, I might disagree with you, but I will talk about that later.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's a recommend. This was a pleasant surprise. And I am very excited to see what happens with Frank Castle and the Punisher in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, and thank God it's not Boomhauer Punisher, you know. I mean, or
pew, man.
Yeah, or the Hand Punisher, you know. Oh,
yeah.
God,
he's got a hand.
It's got a hand. He's working for the Hand.
He's got a hand.
He's Bedevil's hand. We do have Jamin D in the house. It's been a minute. Hope everyone is great. What is up, Jamin? It's so nice to see you. It has been a minute. I do apologize. Schedules have been a little crazy. For those of you that don't know, I've got a new puppy. I kind of have to like 2-month-old puppy. He's going 3 months now. But yeah, oh man, I'm too old for this shit. I'll just say that. But among other life things, other busyness, but all good. But hopefully we'll be getting back to a regular cadence. And then Cannoli Sasquatch in the house. Hello, everyone. What's up, Cannoli? I'm curious if you've had any books that you've read lately. So you'll have to let me know because I know you've been on your comic. I think the last time we asked you this, you were about to start reading Judge Dredd.
Yeah, and I think they're reading Unholy Nightmare and maybe Deaths of Valor, maybe Silent Nights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, show. All right, we're gonna keep on going with our honorable mentions. We do have Absolute Wonder Woman #12, written by Kelly Thompson with art by Hayden Sherman and colors by Jordi Belair. This is another one that's probably going to surprise people. Look, we've had it featured before, and it's when oh gosh, I can't remember the artist's name, but he did the call.
Yeah, all I know is that art was flipping amazing.
Oh, it's so good. He's so good, and that to me is when Absolute Wonder Woman finally felt like the epic book that it should have been to begin with. And then sure enough, come along here, it's Hayden Sherman on art, and I still think he's doing way better art for Batman Dark Patterns. But the story here actually, like Kelly Thompson actually delivers an entertaining story here. You've got the labyrinth, you got the Minotaur, there's action, thank God there's action, and it's good action. And I actually enjoyed this issue a lot because I wasn't going to read it, and then Drew praised it for a floppy drop, and I was like, let me go check this book out, and it was a solid read. So kudos to the team here.
Yeah, it's 12 issues in. and I think it's one of three I could wholeheartedly recommend. And
It's true.
so that's about 25% we can recommend. That's not bad. It's still an F, but it's not bad. Anyway, yeah, this was the first real story. It really felt like a true Wonder Woman story, and it was great seeing Wonder Woman, be a hero, not all out murderer, enjoying it, and but it's great seeing her attempt to rescue people, trying to free people from the maze, and I really really dug that, and really being the hero for who she is, and standing for hope. Good to see all that in this. It's terrific, and this has, I believe, also two endings, and I like what they're setting up here. With a certain female magician. I'm very curious to see where it goes with that. And it's Wonder Woman is making a step in the right direction.
Agreed.
And if the next issues are as equally as good as this one, I see no reason why I wouldn't recommend this and say it's the best absolute series.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I think sometimes people think we're haters, but we're just gonna call it like we see it. And even if there's a book that we think hasn't been great, if a good issue comes along, we're gonna talk about that issue being good, and ultimately hope that that's where the series kind of heads. And I hope that they stay on this path, because I do think even when they first announced these books, I said conceptually I think the Absolute Wonder Woman book has the best chance of being interesting. And then it never really lived up to what I was hoping for. But this kind of is definitely a step in the right direction. So kudos to the team. Before we move on to the next honorable mention, Canola said he's currently reading Gotham Central. And bro, like, take your time with it, because the way the art is, a lot of the characters can easily get interchangeable or look the same. But I love Gotham Central. Like, it's one of my favorite books, and just go for the ride, because every step of the way, every time that I thought I knew what was about to happen, I was wrong. So I had a lot of fun with it, and it didn't feel like things were happening just for the sake of shock value. Like, once it happened and you kind of got to experience it, you're like, okay, no, this makes sense. But yeah, great writing, great storytelling. I love the pacing, because they don't stick to stories being like, here's your 6-issue story. It's like you got a 2-issue story, a 3-issue story, a 5-issue story, then a 4-issue. Like, they do what they needed to for that. And it's fun to see Gotham and crime from the police department's perspective. And then get flashes of just little sprinkles of Batman and heroes, but I mean villains. And if the opening with Two-Face or not Two-Face, but Mr. Freeze did make you go, oh shit, then yeah. But and then he said, I did finish Batman Murder Return Fugitive this past weekend. Yeah, it's been a while since I've read those, so I'll have to go back and revisit them. But yeah, glad you're reading it, glad you're enjoying the stuff, and I always love listening to people kind of discover comics they love. But all right, moving on to the next honorable mention. We have Viking Moon #1, written by Joe Pruitt with art by Marcelo Fruzen. This is another book that I had missed going into floppy drop, and you were praising the hell out of it. And I remember scrolling through and being like, okay, I don't want to read it anymore because this looks so good. And I'm going to leave it at that, because this is definitely on my list.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is this was a pleasant surprise. I am familiar with Joe Pruitt. I've met him several times. He's a good dude, and he's a solid writer. And what he's building up here, this historical horror, is right up my alley. I really dig it. And you got Vikings, you got werewolves. It gave me what I wanted. And the art is like a combination of Richard Corbin and Edward Russo. I love it for that. And yeah, strong recommend, and I'll save it for that, and I'll let you talk about it later.
Hell yeah. And with that, folks, we are finally moving into our actual top 5. So as we move this, I will say, actually, I do want to say, I meant to add an honorable mention and I forgot to. But I will say, I read The Undead Iron Fist, and I was pleasantly surprised reading it. Danny Rand is back. And they're doing some really kind of cool stuff. I don't know if you did read it, but I thought
I did. It just got bumped.
And that's kind of how I felt. But I did feel like it was worth mentioning because of just the shit that they put Danny Rand through the past few years. That I was like, all right, this is again a step in the right direction. There was just a few parts, Miles Morales and stuff that I wish wouldn't have been in there, and I wish some things would have been a little different. But the fact that he's coming back from hell and he's rediscovering himself, reinventing himself, I'm down to see where they go with it. But yeah. All right, so Drew. I've got a little background noise coming in from you. I'm not sure if it's a fan or.
Oh yeah, it's a fan. Sorry.
It's all right. But we're going to get into the top 5. So just real quick, a reminder, moving forward, my top 5 are the top 5 debuts, the number ones that released for the month of September. Drew will continue on with his overall top picks, and we'll both probably discuss those. But coming in at number 5 for me, I have Punisher Red Band, number 1, written by Benjamin Percy, art by Julius Oda, and colors by Yen Nitro.
Hey, Josh, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Yep, no worries. So what I'm going to say about this is I had certain opinions going into it. Benjamin Percy for me is someone that usually starts well and kind of bombs by the time he gets to the end. So I wasn't overly excited, but I was excited to see Frank back. And again, I think they do a lot of things really well here. They're not I mean, you can tell by looking at this, these pages here. One, the art is solid. And they're not afraid to take it to a violent area. And I think part of that is got the pup dreaming over there. I think part of that is just so they're not afraid to get violent. That's needed. If you're gonna have Frank Castle, that's what you have to do. Part of my issue with this book was the whole memory loss thing. And that's just me as an individual. I think I've read so much memory loss that I'm like, eh. And there were moments where Frank's with an older lady, and for me, I was just like, yeah, okay. Like, I mean, if I were this lady, I would not be going along with this. I'm like, bro, you're bleeding, you're shot up, you're kind of crazy, you're trying to kill people. Like, I'm not inviting you to my house. Or maybe if you're afraid you're gonna die, you would be like, please don't kill me, just do whatever you want, I'll help you. But Drew mentioned that he wasn't he like, have Kingpin or have Tombstone, pick one, don't go with both. I like that we had both. I think it creates an interesting dynamic because I think Kingpin and Tombstone, while both being bad guys, are going to oppose each other in a certain way, and you get a nice triangle effect there. So looking forward to seeing what they do here. I agree with Drew 100%. This is the step in the right direction that we needed for Frank. It needed to happen. And while this book isn't perfect, it is really darn good. So kudos there. I am going to go ahead and go on, which we'll get to Drew's number 5, which is Aquaman number 5. I'll let him come in and talk in a second, but I'll go ahead and share some thoughts for this. Aquaman number 9, written by Jeremy Adams, art by John Timms, and colors by Rex Locus.
Okay, I'm back.
There we go. Okay, you're back. I will say, I thought this was a solid issue. We're kind of wrapping up the.
Oh, hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay.
Go ahead and tell us about what you liked about Aquaman number 9.
Okay, I was reading James. Okay, James said, okay, audio went down, Josh. I'm like, oh, damn it, not me. Well, like, oh, okay, it was Josh.
I realized it after. It was just at the wrong moment that I said it, and I'm like, is he back? We're good. Go ahead, brother.
This was pretty much Aquaman and team and co returning to Earth, returning to our Earth, and or are we led to believe it's our Earth? I don't know. We'll see. But Aquaman returns with his new powers. The new abilities have been leveled up, and we got a Superman that's been possessed. And once you know it, the rest of the Justice League, they can't handle him. until Aquaman shows up. And it's pretty damn awesome. You got Batman being skeptical about the whole thing with Aquaman and Arthur. I love it. And the ending is even much, much, much more interesting. It reminds me of Sliders in the very first episode. And if you've ever watched Sliders, check it out. It has a great ending to the first episode. I won't spoil it, but it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And a strong recommend for Aquaman. So damn good.
Agreed. This was a nice wrap up, but also setup. Like it was a good transition issue into like what we're really about to deal with, and I was enjoying it. And then we got to the end. I was like, okay, I'm super intrigued to see what's going on, because he was subtle about it. I mean, like he didn't make it blatantly obvious. Like what? So I appreciate Jeremy for doing that and respecting the intelligence of his readers. And yes, JBD, audio and dead Josh. I know we don't have Salty here to go like, damn it, Josh. So muted and Richard Simmons. Okay, I don't know what the Richard Simmons is about, but sweating to the oldies. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our number 4 picks for September 2025. And coming in for my number 4 pick, I have the Blue Falcon and Dynamite number 1. I know, man. Again, written by Jimmy Palmiotti, art by Pasquale Quilano, and Jorge Sutil.
Pasquale Quilano.
Man, these poor guys' names. But I will say, I started reading this, and at first, I mean, look, anytime you have a dog, I'm that guy that I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this, and that's my, tism. But I was like, yeah, this book's fine. Like, all right, I was like, I get it. And then you get like halfway through, and shit starts hitting the fan, and I got really pissed. I got super pissed, and I was like, fuck this book. Fuck those guys. You better fuck those guys up. And so needless to say, I got involved really quick. And I'm super, super eager. Like, I finished the issue, and I was like, I want issue number 2. Like, I don't even want to wait. I'm so mad right now. Give it to me. Mad in a good way. Mad in I'm enjoying the story way. But yeah, a lot of fun. And Drew is right. Like, I've seen these characters. I remember them, but I never really knew much about them. So it's fun to kind of get to see them here. And I really enjoy the art. I feel like when you're kind of in the modern day, just normal world, it's a little simple. But as you can see, even with the Blue Falcon panel there, like it is kind of reminiscent to what we see in Space Ghost. It's intense and brutal and good. So again, huge surprise. Kudos to Jimmy Palmiotti and team for delivering a really solid book. And hopefully more people talk about this. JK's coming in with JK enjoyed Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Like, by all means, like, tell your friends, go check it out, because it's definitely worth reading. So, all right, Drew, we're gonna move on to your number 4 pick for September 2025, and it is Space Ghost number 2 and Space Ghost number 3. 2 issues, 1 month. I'm behind on Space Ghost, so I'm gonna let you run with this.
So issue 2 was a lot of fun. We get introduced to a femme fatale in the past of Space Ghost. Is Sans Serif, if you will, from the Will Eisner Spirit days. His Electro Nachios, if you will. His Catwoman. His Black Cat. So this is a very fun new element to bring into the life of Space Ghost. And I like where we have introduced here with that, and it's a very, very fun story. And issue 3, holy shitballs! It is a full-on balls to the wall, no holds barred fight between Space Ghost and company against an unfrozen barbarian, and it is amazing. It is so beautifully illustrated by Jonathan Lau. I cannot recommend it enough. Oh yeah, and once again, Jonathan Lau. He's done the art on every damn issue.
Every issue. And incredible art. Like, killer art.
Yeah, he hasn't phoned this crap in. He's not someone on the X office is phoning in his shit. No, he's done every damn issue. And there's got to be an award for that at the end of the year. And this is another reason why Space Ghost will probably be my best series of the year when we get to it, just because it's been the same team every issue, and every issue has been a banger, and it's given me everything that I want in a comic book, especially with superheroes. And I don't know what more we need to say.
Yeah. I am again, this is David Pepos, who usually is hit or miss for me, but he's been killing it with Space Ghost. And you mentioned Jonathan Lau. Like, I feel like we're gonna get to the end of this 12 issue run, and if someone else hasn't scooped him up for something, I'm gonna be shocked. Because he's prime time ready. Like, just, I mean, but give him a good book. Like, if he goes somewhere else, please let him be on a good book. Don't just pull him to.
Yeah, like if I were on Ragman at DC Comics, I would gladly have him on Ragman for DC Comics.
Hey, it could happen. That's not a tease. I'm just saying, with Drew's trajectory, it could happen. It could definitely happen.
See, what's great about being on a book like Ragman is that you could be in your own little universe, away from anyone and everyone. You can do whatever the hell you want, pretty much.
Absolutely. And I think he'd be really good for Ragman. I think you could do a lot of fun stuff there. And I think
100%. Come on, the Jailer of Souls. Come on, how could you not?
Yeah. Well, and he's in Jonathan's like so good that he can kind of bring in different vibes and genres and stuff within his art. So yeah, that'd be pretty freaking awesome. Alrighty, we're gonna move into our number 3 picks for September 2025, and coming in as my number 3 debut for the month, I have X-Men Apocalypse Alpha number 1, written by Jeff Loeb with art by Simone DeMeo. Sorry. Okay, so again, I came into this, and I mentioned this, I think, during Floppy Drop, that, your expectation can play a lot with how much you enjoy or dislike a book. I came in expecting utter crap. I came in expecting what we've been getting from the X line, and man, I thought this was a ton of fun. We get to see these characters kind of picking up where we left off, and it felt like the X-Men. I think you mentioned that earlier, and I can't remember the last time I read the X-Men and went, man, this feels like the X-Men. But God, I had so much fun, and getting to see some of these characters come back too, like Blink and Wild Child, and for me, this was a blast to read. I was also coming in being super cautious about the art because I didn't like it for Batman and Robin, but it works here in this world and with everything that's going on. So for me, this was a banger of a book, a shit ton of fun, and it was just a nice surprise because I didn't expect it. So I will say kudos to Jeff Loeb and team, and I'm glad you guys didn't phone it in here. And hats off to having the best X book that we've had in like 2 years, 3 years. Oh man, that's sad. But it's a good book. It's a good book. So if you enjoyed Age of Apocalypse, if you enjoyed if you want something that feels like it's old school X-Men in some ways, but still fresh and new, like this is it for you. This is the title. All right, Drewski, we're going to go in with your number 3 pick for September 2025, and it is Redcoat number 14, written by Jeff Johns with art by Brian Hitch and colors by Brad Anderson. Redcoat's been just a ton of fun, and this issue really did some fun stuff with a certain historical figure.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast reading this and really getting into the history of this story. And look, for the most part, it is relatively historically accurate. What we see here, this painting that was rescued by a certain first lady, this happened. This is on the record. And in the White House, during the War of 1812, the Brits burned down the White House. And wouldn't you know it, Redcoat just happens to be there hanging around with the cooks, we get some food, playing some cards, having a good time. Then those dirty Brits, those dirty Redcoats come in and burn it down. And he runs into a certain lady there who's saving a certain painting, because it was, this is where it gets interesting because in the real world, we know how much that painting meant, it was just the first, it was illustrated hope, the beginning of a new nation. But in this world
here,
it's something different because what George
Oh, good
Washington
old
is known,
George. Yeah.
yeah, old Georgie. When we know Georgie boy, what he does here in this world, it's very different, and it's very interesting when we see uh, Redcoat Simon talking to the first lady and their beliefs and thoughts on old Georgie boy, and it's good. I like that, like there are different beliefs on him and there are different thoughts
Yeah.
on him, and it's fun. And also we get teased with things to come with old Georgie boy. He shows back
Yep.
up again. But yeah, I cannot recommend this issue enough. It is so damn fun, so
Yeah.
fast, kinetic, well illustrated, and it really does a great job of respecting history as well.
Agreed. It's fun to um kind of take these actual historical concepts and kind of play with them and do something fun. But also Simon is such a fun character. Like he's so cheeky that I've gotten to where I it's like comfort food. You got those TV shows or movies that you watch because you like the character so much, and it's comforting to have them. That's how I'm getting with Simon on Redcoat. Like I just love reading this character. And as a response, I love reading this book. I think it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm curious to see where they go. And Ghost Machine is just going to continue growing. But good stuff all around. And again, Brian Hitch's art. I mean, look, he's got so much packed into these panels. Like, come on, the guy's considered great for a reason. But yeah. Before we move on to our number twos, we do have JD Petty in the house with interesting that they had this come out while another attempt to recapture Age of Apocalypse is going on.
Right?
I will say that wait, what are they calling it? What is this new one called?
Age of
Oh,
Clarity.
I can't remember. It wasn't as bad as what we thought it was going to be, so I will give
So
it that.
far, so far.
So far, we're one issue one issue ish in the main story, but it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. But yes, the Age of Apocalypse Alpha or X-Men Apocalypse Alpha #1 was actually a ton of fun. So, all right, let's get ready for these number twos. And by number twos, we don't mean the deuce that you took. We mean the second best book of the month. So the second best debut for September 2025 is I put Skinbreaker. So for me, is that right? Skinbreaker? Yeah. Yeah. Look, I had read this and I mentioned this earlier. I came into it expecting something else, and because of that, I felt let down reading it. And I'd even mentioned during Floppy Drop, this is one of those that I want to pick up and read again with my expectation out of the way. And once I did, I was really enjoying it. It feels like we're setting up a slow burn. They're really trying to introduce this world and kind of get you familiar with these characters and kind of their belief system. And then once I kind of come in with an open mind and clean slate, I enjoyed it way more. I will say David Finch's art freaking fantastic. There's so much going on, so much detail. But I will fall back on the colors. There's a lot of brown, and we talked about how in Floppy Drop, if they had added some greens or just something to break it up, it would have worked a lot better. And then I think even with the chat, we got into a bit of debate of like, yeah, but I think the Earth or this planet's supposed to look that way, maybe because it's dying or not as lush as it could be. And I understand from the story element, and I think we'd even talked about there's ways you can still showcase that, but have different color palettes here, because you've got so many brown or gold tones. Because even the reds are like a muddy red, like it's a burnt orange or kind of burnt red, which has brown hues to it. You got the browns, you got the goldish yellow, so the kind of brownish yellows in the sky and on the tree trunks. It's just a lot of brown hues, and it can make this fantastic art look muddy. And that's just something I was like, bummer. And it's such a minor thing overall, but yeah, I thought this was a solid issue. I have faith in Robert Kirkman. I think he's going to do great things, and if he's tapping David Finch for a book, I think it's something to be patient with and see where it's going to go. But really enjoyed this issue, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. Alrighty, Drewski, your number two pick for September 2025 is Batman Dark Patterns number 10, written by Dan Waters, art by Hayden Sherman, and colors by Triona Farrell. New and final story for this run, which still makes me sad that we're only getting 12 issues. But go ahead and tell us what we've got going on here, because this was a great introduction.
Yeah, so we got a brand new villain introduced here, someone who ties back into the previous volumes, as we see in that opening page right there. Well aware of what's going on, and I really dig it for that. And on top of that, beautiful, beautiful page layouts by Hayden Sherman. He's really making you look, examining, exploring every inch or page of the comic, and that's fantastic. So we see that Bruce is still injured after the fight with the former kind of sort of Red Hood member, and he's not on his A game, and which makes it all the more fun to read as well. Yeah, I can't recommend this issue enough. Can't recommend the series enough. One of the best, if not the best, DC comic book out right now.
Yeah. This one, I will say, Dan Waters writing this, the stories and the scripts, we've mentioned this before, reminds me of Legends of the Dark Knight and those kind of short stories that are just gritty and dark and like really like you get submerged in the world of Gotham and the seediness of it. This has that same type of vibe. And then Hayden Sherman delivering some fantastic freaking art and just really interesting page layouts, really interesting takes and perspectives. Like he's got a lot of his panels have really interesting perspectives, and it's just been a great book to read. And I wish I had the fourth page here, because you get the reveal of the villain, and it's creepy. It's a creepy page.
Yeah, very creepy.
And they've done creepy very well. Both Dan and Hayden have done creepy elements here to fantastic effect, and I'm loving this book. I hope it does well. It gets collected. It does well, and then they let these guys come back and do some work, because jeez, like this is the Batman I will say this year we've gotten some good Batman stuff, which thank God, because Dark Patterns has been good. Robin and Batman has been good. Batman and Robin has been good. Batman and Robin Year One. So there's some good stuff kind of going on in the Batman universe. But for me, this has been probably the best overall. So we do have Salty Traveling Sea coming in with What Book Are You Loving? Just got home. Right now we're talking about Batman Dark Patterns. And we're on our number 2 picks. So we're going to move in to our number 1 pick for September 2025. And Drewski, I'm going to mute you for just a second, brother. All righty. Moving into our number 1 pick for September 2025, I'm coming in with my number 1 debut for the month. Is going to be Viking Moon number 1, written by Joe Pruitt with art by Marcelo Fruzen. Look, I really enjoyed this book. It's a simple story. I say simple, but it's effective. But you have these Vikings that they're coming in, they're traveling, they found this new land, they've heard about it. They decide to go explore. There's Native Americans that are there, so it's kind of playing into this kind of like actual story, that could be real life that we're facing. But there's also these supernatural elements here, and for me, it was a ton of fun. I thought the writing was done really well. I loved the discussion between these Vikings and kind of just traveling, and then your lead character with his wife and daughter, and the fact that they're discussing how long they've been on the ship, how ready they are to get off the ship. We already know that this is your opening pages here, so there's going to be a battle with Native Americans, but the Native Americans leave. They flee because something happens or something is scaring them. So you're like, oh, there's a tease there. Just a lot of good storytelling. And then, just a natural conflict that gets set off that maybe didn't need to be set off, but how it happens feels very real. So much good stuff. But the art, man, look at this freaking art. I need to go back to the artist's name real quick. Just 1 second. Oh, Marcelo Fruzen. Man, get this guy. I let him do this. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy this. Werewolves and crazy shit. Get this guy on something else. Whenever this is done, someone better scoop this guy up like ASAP. Because gosh, this guy is so just look at him. But even when they show different perspectives, like here you're in the foggy woods, but you've got scenes where it's lush and green and just vibrant. And then you get the werewolves when they're revealed and they're creepy AF. Um, so yeah, loved this first issue. I'm glad Drew was like, bro, how did you not read this when we did floppy drop? Because I was like, I suck at life. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah. And look, hey, Salty's coming in with hell yes, solid choice. I'll take Salty, sometimes I get it right. And then Jacob put is editorial setting the tone for Nightwing because it has been great. I don't know what's going on with Nightwing. I used to have a lot of contacts in DC. I don't have a ton of contacts in DC anymore, just because I don't do the Batman thing anymore. But yeah, I don't know. And I know that's Stan Waters. I believe it's Stan Waters as well. I don't know if he's trying to do something different and for him different, but I haven't been crazy about it. I know Dylan hasn't been crazy about it, the real comic book gamer. So just we'll hope for the best and hopefully get something good coming out of it. All right, moving on to our number one overall best comic for September 2025. This will be Drewski's number one pick. And it is Drew, it sounds like you're in a airplane hangar vacuum something. There we go. That works. You there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Transformers number 24, written by Daniel Warren Johnson, art by Jorge Corona, and colors by Mike Spicer. Bruh, this issue, just these pages alone, tell you what you need to know.
Words can't begin to describe how much I enjoyed this issue. It was full on rock'em sock'em robots, beautifully illustrated by Jorge Corona and beautifully written by Daniel Warren Johnson. And it just every page was a banger. This was the fight we all wanted. This is the fight we all were all waiting for, and we get what we wanted. And worth every cent spent on this book. I couldn't be happier with this series. This is the strongest it recommends. I can't recommend this issue enough, or Transformers enough. This is the best Transformers has been in a very, very, very long time, well over a decade, since All Hail Megatron, if not before then. But yeah, everyone do check this out.
Absolutely. I will back this 100%. Such a good book. This creative team ended, and in my opinion, a perfect way. These 24 issues that they did are going to be collected so nicely that this is going to be one of those evergreen books that sits on shelves that will be there 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years from now. People are going to be going back to this book. So this will be the Batman year one for Transformers as far as comics are concerned, and it's earned that right. It's a bombastic book. And then yes, I need to DM you. I saw your message and I can't remember what happened. I wanted to respond and something happened. Then this is the story of my life. I will see it and start going to message and then back out. But yes, Salty, I will send you that information. But love this book. Great pick. I think it is the perfect pick for the month of September and is a great way to end the night. So, Drewski, I know you got the con cred. I know you're not feeling well, and I'm sure you're done talking. But if people want to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Dolan Waddick. You can find me on Instagram, Dolan_Waddick. And I'll just be posting more and more of the work I got coming up later this year and next year.
And I am. You can find me at Joshua L. McDonald or the channel at by Popped. And of course, we got Riverman here who just woke up from his nap. Oh, I know. Thank you for the kisses. So we're gonna go outside because he probably needs to go take a little tinkle. But yeah, give us a follow, like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And then after the show is done, go comment what your favorite books of the month were. It only helps us get more viewers, and we're looking to keep doing this as long as possible. So with that said, we're going to wrap up tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for joining the conversation, and we will see y'all on Thursday. If Drewski's feeling up to it, we'll keep you in tune, but we'll see you guys then for a little floppy drop. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Get the fuck out!